Hey everybody, it's Denise Siegel. So I just wanted to do a little update. If you're like me and you're hearing all of these horrific stories about the Epstein files, uh, it's pretty disturbing stuff and stuff that makes you lose a little faith in humanity. I have to say that it's not the first bunch of stories I've heard like this. The Epstein files is just the newest iteration of horrific stories of children being abused and trafficked and murder. And this story has everything. Right. Um, so it is really deeply disturbing stuff. And it's hard not to get it out of my head, actually, having heard about it. It's just really upsetting. I'm not going to go into all of it. It's just it's too dark. But I want to say that I've been going through my journals, and if you're on my Substack, I publish different parts of my journals, and when I had different kinds of dreams and visions and things like that, and I had the dates with all that stuff that are published on Substack. So as I was going through my journals the last couple of days, because I'm going to post a bunch more of them on Substack, but some of the visions about this period of time and past this period of time, I did find a couple things. So I had a lot of dreams, it seems, about this period of time before it happened, and that makes sense because it's a pretty dark period of time. And visions about police or like some sort of police type or law enforcement killing people and things like that. In 2024, I had a bunch of visions about that. Um, but as I read through my journals, one of the things that was interesting was there was all the way back in 2012, I had a dream about going on a bus with a bunch of children, and everybody else that was not on the bus was going to the Bardo. I mentioned that. I've had dreams about being in rooms full of angels where people were given different assignments for this period of time coming up. Dreams where, uh, the ship of state turns upside down. The ship of the most recent ship of state dream I had was in 20. Now I've had airplanes of state. That's a new thing where everyone's on an airplane because things are moving so quick, I guess. But the ship of state, the last one I had was actually during the transition from the Trump administration to the Biden administration. And it was a dream where there were all of these ships docked together and they were all ships of state. And in the distance, there was this terrible storm coming. And the ship that I was in, that we were, that America, the ship of America, was was being hit. It was like the waves were getting very choppy, and the ships were starting to basically, uh, hit each other in the dock. And one of the ships was wedged and was going to breach the hull of our ship. And I went on the ship because I had no place else to go. And I met a couple of my friends who were also in my generation and with my family. And we went down to the area where my generation was going to be, which was the bottom of the ship. And I realized this was going to affect people who were my age and probably older, but it was really generational. It was Gen X people. Um, the hardest really, because as our country falls apart, right, and the ship comes unglued and gets into this whole, it starts to sink. The people on the bottom are going to be the ones who die first, and I think that's about eventually. Obviously, we're seeing all the social services cut, but imagine you're Gen Xer and you've been paying into Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare, whatever, your entire life, you get to the point where you're supposed to take Social Security and Medicare, and it no longer exists for you. So the people who already have it maybe still keep it. The people that are young haven't paid into it. So I think that's what the dream was kind of implying, was that that was going to go away in my lifetime. So then I had a dream more recently. I think it was about a little over a year ago, that I was running around this area, and there was a pub, and I went inside the pub for a second, came back out, and there was and this was also very vivid. There was the earth, just another earth right up against ours. So it was like taking up the entirety of the sky. And this it was dawn. It had been nighttime, and now it was dawn. So you could see this earth, and the only thing on the earth that you could see was just the United States, completely surrounded by water. And while it also was kind of beautiful just to see this big earth and kind of overwhelming, it also felt like it was going to collide with this other earth. And I think the message of that dream was about America becoming completely isolated and in a collision course with the rest of the world. So these are some of the not so fun dreams. But as I went through, I found a bunch of dreams that were more hopeful, dreams about post this period. I had a dream where there was a bunch of redemption happening. People were forgiving one another. They were learning to accept each other. There's dreams like that too. And then I've had, as I went through the journals, lots and lots of dreams about space travel. And I've had dreams about that since I was a child, about going to Venus in a spacesuit and kind of going down into the surface. I had a series of dreams in the 90s about being a colonist on Mars. And the more recent dream was a dream of going to Jupiter. So to me, this implies that, and then there's also dreams of this Earth being covered in ash. A lot of dreams about that, and a lot of nuclear dreams. A lot of dreams with nuclear explosions in them, which scares me. So it seems to me like while we're in a dark period and we haven't gone through the worst of this yet, and there is a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't know if it was volcanic ash or if it was a nuclear winter, but many dreams about the world being dark and being covered in ash, and people migrating and things like that. And also meditations in which those things came up as well. And land masses being different, like the United States. I think I posted something a long time ago about that, about the coasts being kind of cut into by water. But the positive side of this is, even though there is a big shift coming and we are going through a very dark period, and I think it's going to be pretty intense. It does seem like there's also another possible future here, that once we get past this, I do think that we will develop space travel. We will survive this in a different way. I think the world will be a different place after all this is over. We may have to kind of go through this massive shift where a lot of our institutions, our ways of being, are collapsing of our systems, government, countries, whatever, all of our constructs may end. But I don't think humanity will, which is good, because I wasn't sure about that part until rereading all this stuff and realizing that there will be people still here. And I've had other meditations in which I was talking to different beings, and the explanation that there has been a hybridized program, part of it was really to make sure that humanity survived. And I do believe that the humanoid form is prolific throughout the universe in different places. And it may not be exactly like us, but similar. And that, well, we may exist, our seeds of who we are from mind through this weird hybridization program that was going on in this 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and kind of stopped in the 2000s by the aliens, whatever you want to call them, the beings, interdimensional beings, aliens, whatever they are. I believe that that massive program they had going on. I do think though that there still will be, I think it was some sort of like Noah's Ark project. Let's make sure that we see that they could destroy themselves. Let's keep the seed. But I do think though that humanity will still be here on Earth eventually on the other side of this. So I have this sense that it's going to be a period of a lot of reaping, and there will be those who make it through. And like I've said before on my Substack, I do think this is close to what you would call the end times in the Bible. It's not exactly like that, but I do think it is the end of an era. It's the end of the Piscean age. It's the end of a lot of the systems. It is the end of the world as we've known it coming up. We're in that place right now. And what comes on the other side of this, I think, will be quite different. And I don't think it'll be in the vision of people like Peter Thiel or all of these really evil people. I think that's the purpose of this, is to sort of sort through. And like I've said before, I think people who are truly evil, they kill themselves with their evil acts. They kill their soul. They basically, every time you commit some kind of an evil act upon someone else, a part of your light dies until eventually you've killed your soul. And I think what happens is you just become background radiation. So I think this is a huge spiritual period we're in of death and rebirth. And what comes on the other side of this will be so different than what we can imagine. That it will be like what the Mayans said, it will be the end of the last world, because I don't even think it's a reset in other endings and new beginnings, like the Egyptians or whatever. This is a worldwide phenomenon. And I think some technology will survive it. So it's not going to be exactly how the ends have come before. I believe it's sort of a sorting period as well. So I just wanted to say that there is positive stuff. I had the dream about a spiritual leader emerging from the, throughout this process and kind of leading people in the right direction. I had the dream now. I've seen several dreams about post this period where people kind of come together in community and rebuild communities, and they're small and they have technology, but they're small and organized like city states kind of. And they're not the techno states that these billionaire technocrats want. And they're not Christian caliphate states either. So those guys are driving this destruction phase. And on the other side of it, it's going to be very different than what they can imagine. So that's my update for now. I'm going to continue to post a bunch of different dreams. I'm going through my journals. I have a lot of them. And trying to find relevant ones. So blessings to all of you. Have a wonderful week. And if you don't subscribe to my Substack, please do. And if you don't subscribe to the YouTube channel, please do. I wish all of you well. If you want to book a reading, there's always a book now button on my Substack, and there's also, you can go to the more button on my YouTube and you'll find it there. All right, blessings to everyone. Have a wonderful week. Take care.